All right,
Mhm.
we are here with Terez Stinson with Squeaky Tees Pressure Washing. Thanks, man, for being here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
No
so
problem. Thanks for having me.
yeah, man, thank you so much. So, what exactly do you do? What services does your company provide?
Well, right now, for the time being, I do driveways and I do decks and fencing. I like we're just cleaning right now, for example. Then I do houses and just getting the mildew off. I do soft washing
Okay.
techniques, so I don't have to do ladders and stuff like that. And eventually, I want to get to roof washing and deck staining and all the things that come with pressure washing, because I've done it all before, but it's just been a while.
Gotcha. Okay. And is this your full-time job or do you have work and you do pressure wash on the side?
Well, eventually, I just started probably like 6 months ago, so I want to grow it to my full time job. But I work for Amazon on the side right now. Like
Okay.
I do that 4 days a week, and I just pressure wash the jobs that I get in from passing out cars and word of mouth for right
Oh,
now.
nice, man. Yeah, because so much of the time they're like, hey, you need to just quit your day job and go right into it. But I mean, it is smart what you're doing
Yeah,
because you're building it up until you have that revenue, I assume that you're looking for.
yeah.
Yeah, and have you thought about adding like window cleaning or gutter cleaning, or do you just want to stick to like power washing specifically?
Oh yeah. Well, I do clean gutters too. Like I clean the inside of them, and like I know about gutter cleaning. You got to get the gutter bright and then mix it and scrub the gutters and stuff like that. So I just gotta, but like I'm just getting into it, and if you mix it too strong, then
Yeah,
it'll take the paint
yeah.
off. So you just got to be careful with that. But I am going to incorporate that very soon.
Oh, okay. So and where are you located, by the way?
In Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, so we're in the same city. I think
Yeah.
I swear I've seen your truck, man. I've
Oh, okay.
maybe you're doing a job and that's how I found your Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And do you work solo? Do you work with somebody?
Well, for the time being, I just usually knock everything out solo, because
Okay.
I used to do it I used to work for a big 6, 7 figure company like for 5 years. That was the first job I ever had. So it's like second nature. Like the fact that I got the better equipment, it makes it a little bit easier. I don't have to really get too much help.
Right. And what kind of equipment do you have?
Well, just for right now, I got like a 4 gallon per minute D-Walk
Yeah.
machine with the 20-inch surface cleaner. But
Yeah.
I also got like a little 2.5 per gallon per minute Simpson machine. But that one ran pretty good. That's what I started out with. So usually I just put the cleaner down with that by turning the throttle down, and it just helps me out instead till I get my soft wash machine and stuff like that.
Oh, see
Yeah.
that's really smart because everyone talks about having an 8, 10 gallon, but honestly, oh, you could run a good company with just 4 gallon a minute. I
Yep.
mean,
100%.
what what got you into it? I mean, I know you said you did it for your first job or whatever, but like what kind of has led you into the whole entrepreneurial route, running your own business? Because business is hard, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
ain't easy.
Well, my thing, well, like I said, that's one job I did. I was my first job from when I was 16 to when I was 21. Like I did it every day, every night. Like that was all I knew was pressure washing. And then like eventually, I just started doing in and out jobs like warehouse jobs, and different things like that. And those things are cool, but it's like it don't really get me to the point where I want to feel like I want to get to in life. So it's like
Yeah,
one of those things where and it's like I don't really want to go. I feel like if I could do pressure washing, I don't really need to go to school for a trade or something like that.
right, right.
So it's like, and then I actually like pressure washing. Like it's like one of those things where I always was like, if I see a dirty house or if I see concrete, I'm like, dang, I wish I could clean that. Or like I
Yeah.
actually do enjoy it. So it's like now that I can actually do it on my own and I stop procrastinating, it just feels good.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And I'm the same. Like all, if I see a dirty house, I'll literally just knock on the door with the business card and just talk to them. And
Yeah,
that and that kind of leads me into my next question. And we're in the same city, so um,
yeah.
like has been your best mode of marketing, right? Like, is it door to door, door knocking, paid ads? Like, what has worked best for you?
I would say, um, crazy is to say, I would probably say door knocking or passing out cards because, I mean, at first, I mean, word of mouth helps a lot too,
Yeah.
honestly. But I've got the majority of my job because, like I said, I deliver for Amazon. So not like every time I deliver, I always got a card on me or something like that. So I just pass out cards. Like if I got 180 stops a day, I'll probably pass out 200 or 100, at least 150 cards a day.
Mm,
And everybody always says they're gonna call you. You know, like I don't pass out about, I don't know, probably 3,000 cards, but
yeah.
I've done about 60, 50 jobs. But I feel like you got to get your name out there some way. And you know, if I'm in the neighborhood doing a job, the neighbor might say, "Oh, can you do my house?" or something like
Mhm.
that. So I get a lot of jobs in different ways, but I would say the majority is off passing out cards.
Oh, okay, really? I mean, for what you're doing with Amazon, I mean, that's perfect. It's like, man, every time I take an Uber, every Uber driver has like a business. Every time I'm in an
Yeah,
Uber, they're trying to sell their business. But
yeah.
what, um, what, like for you, what has been the biggest struggle? But then the easiest thing for you, like because business is hard, and I always like to get people's like what's been super hard for them, but then maybe what's been easier for you.
So I would say, um, like I could definitely take on a more workload. So I would say getting jobs that's actually like, I mean, I'll take anything I can get at this point. Like I do $150 house. That's one story, little small box house, or I'll take bigger houses. But getting consistent jobs for
Yeah,
every 3 days I'm off, that's probably the hardest part. Because like, you know, I know the business, like, and I know what I'm doing and I post all the time, but it's just about, I guess, getting your name out there. But at the end of the day, like I see a lot of people videos, like it take a year or two to get your name out there, like you really
oh
want
yeah,
to. So I'm more so looking at it like I don't really look at it as a bad thing. It's just part of it, you know.
right, yeah. I mean, and that's why I think that's why most guys they either don't start one or they don't last because it's
Yeah,
exactly what you said. There, it's hard, and then after 6 months, like, man, I'm not getting steady leads. So I'm just gonna quit, go get a full time job somewhere else. Because.
yeah,
But I think for you, at least you have steady income. So like, it's like if it is slower, you're still gonna make money because you got your other job.
yeah.
What so but no,
And
what
then
and then have you worked with any other like contractors before? Because like for me, like I'm always speaking contractors and like another thing that has helped me, like lawn care companies, different home services, they can, refer you work. So, don't always just because they're not in pressure, other type of service, will give you work. It's just you gotta be careful because a lot of them they'll be like, yeah, I'll give it to you, but then they're gonna want a lot of the ticket price. So that's where you
yeah,
gotta really have to have that sales because I remember when I started, like people were giving me jobs and they wanted 50% of the job. I'm like, no, that's crazy.
yeah. So what I do, like just because I'm starting out and everything, I always see like if it could be a maid cleaning the house or it could be somebody cutting grass, anything like that. Like even when I'm not delivering, I always give cards to those people too, and I always tell them, any job you get me, you get 30% of it because I know it's a business. That's what I always tell
Yeah,
people, like, because like if and I was like, I'll recommend your stuff if I get a job to you or vice
yeah,
versa. I always tell people that because it is a business. So
right.
especially like even with family and friends, I tell them about 10, 20% sometimes, but with business, I always tell them 30%.
Okay. And what is your long-term goal? Like, where do you imagine Squeaky Tea's at in, 5 years from now?
Well, my plan 5 years from now, I wanna have about 2 or 3 trucks. I mean, because I don't want to have too much because it is hard. It's hard to find, I guess, people. Well, I wouldn't say that speaking to existence, but just somebody that'll run the truck for me and stuff like that. But I'll probably try to have 2 trucks, a bigger trailers, bigger equipment, all those things like that. And then eventually, I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I kind of want to put a pressure washing store out here because in Charlotte, because it's one in Concord and it's one
I
in Indian Trail.
yeah.
But I feel like a pressure washing store out here, right in the middle, of, even if it's not downtown or wherever it is, it'll make it more accessible for. It's a lot of companies out here doing the same work, so I feel like that'll be a good thing to kind of where everybody can get their equipment and all this stuff like that, so they don't have to go all the way to Indian Trail, all the way this and that. Because I know me particularly, I always got to drive out 30 minutes to get my equipment.
Me
I mean,
too.
my yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm in Steel Creek.
yeah. I'm off Wilkinson
Oh,
Boulevard.
oh, okay, yeah, we're close.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, maybe we might have to chat after this. Maybe me and you, man, will
yeah.
open up a shop in Charlotte. That'd be cool, right?
Yeah, for real. Because like I was looking at it like this. Like if you go to the Walmart, you people most some people that don't know what they're doing, they go into Walmart getting bleach for
Yep,
five, almost
yep.
$6 a gallon. And I feel like if I can get it wholesale for $2 a gallon, and I or even if I get it from the people in Concord, if I get it for $2.90 a gallon, and I sell it for $4 a gallon, I know I could get a better price than that. But I still feel like I was able to sell it. So it's just like, and that'll get people. So I know once I get to a certain point, I get my name out there and all that stuff. I want to be able to do something like that because it would be a big asset to a lot of people. I feel like
Oh yeah, no, that's a really good idea. Is your plan to keep like the equipment you have now? Like, do you just have everything
no.
in a truck? Do you have a trailer? Like, what's your setup like?
Well, right now I got a truck and I got a pickup truck and I got like I said I got two machines and I got a trailer and I got a 300-gallon water tank and all that stuff. But I'm just getting into learning everything, so I got to plumb up my machines and
Yeah,
everything like that. But eventually, like my trailer right now, I think it's like a 5x8 or 5x10.
that's perfect.
But
That's all you need.
I really want to just make sure I can fit my soft wash machine on there, get some hose reels and stuff like that. So just make everything more efficient and all that stuff.
Yeah, man, hose reels are so important. I mean,
Yeah, it
because
likes it.
oh man, because not when you don't have that, it could take 20 minutes, 25 minutes just reeling that thing up.
Yeah, it does. It does. But like I said, it's a part of it for the time being. But I definitely get some hose reels and get all those things like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. What do you think the biggest thing of, like running a business is? Like, what do you think the do's and don'ts are? Like for a lot of people who watch this channel, they're either about to start a home service business or, they're like beginning their stages. Like, what would you say some things that kind of just help kind of kickstart, their journey?
Well, I would say um definitely make sure you like get some business cards and stuff like that because those come through a lot. Even if you to give somebody your phone number, they might lose track of you or anything like that. So just make sure you got business cards, people know who you are. And my one thing I did, I tried to make sure that I don't get like loans or nothing like that when you first starting out because some weeks might be better than others. So you might have one good week and you might think that oh should go to get this or it's just like you should start with what you have rather than trying to get the biggest and best stuff.
Mhm.
I feel like because I always looked at like oh I can't do this or I can't do that, but I get a lot of jobs done and then you start somewhere, then you can work your way up and then you can get better equipment as you go rather than trying to just spend all your money on one thing because advertising and getting your name out there is very important.
Oh,
So
I
I
know,
would say,
because and it seems too like so many guys seen in the Facebook groups, they buy these they get loans for these 40, 50,000 rigs.
yeah,
And then you're right, and they have no jobs. And then you see in a couple months they're selling it. It's like,
yeah, yeah,
I would rather start out the 2.5 gallon from Lowe's for 6 months, build my clientele, then grab
yep,
the 4 gallon per minute, and
exactly,
then maybe another year and build. Yeah, I'm all about that. Like, I think
yeah,
too many guys in this industry, they just start, and don't get me wrong, better equipment is going to help you out. But if you don't have the leads flowing,
yeah,
it does. You could have a 12 gallon per minute, and
yeah,
it's not
exactly,
going to matter. It doesn't,
yeah,
so I I always push guys on marketing. Like lead flow is everything. If you don't have
Yep.
leads, man, you don't have a business.
Yep. Exactly.
How many? Because I know since you work with Amazon, do you usually do jobs like is it after work or on like weekends?
Well, there's been a couple days where I have little small houses, like, and I knock them out when I get off of work if I have a good
Mm,
day. But most of the time, I just usually do them on my days off, just in case anything happens. I don't want to have to come back or something. So I always try to give myself a little bit of time to get it done properly.
gotcha. What has been, like as far as with clients, what have you done, you think, just to make your clients either happy or maybe do more work with you? Because I know, like, sometimes, right, clients can not be the nicest. It could either
Mm.
just be, and we all know that. Like, what have you done to kind of make sure, like, with your brand, your company, maybe is different from your competitors, or just giving yourself a good, good name, good reputation?
Yeah, well, I always try to make sure I like do something extra. I seen that in the group. They say like when you first starting out, maybe if I'm just doing somebody's house, if they got brick stairs in the front, I'll just hit the brick stairs, to go with it. Or it's like if they have something that maybe just not extra, if they got a little storage unit in the back, I might just hit that. Or like I always make sure I move everything off their porch. I don't like charge nothing. I mean, sometimes if it's extra stuff I do, but I always just try to, even if people just have a bad attitude, or I always try to have a positive attitude and just make sure I just handle myself properly, and just anything they ask, I always go above and beyond, and I don't just try to get in and out. Like, sometimes it's just like, oh, I might have 3 jobs in a day, I could just try to rush it, but I don't never do that. I just take my time and just, if I unhooked all my machines and they told me, oh, you missed this spot, I'll hook everything back up just to hit it. I don't be like, oh no, like, something like that. I just do it
Yeah.
as they say.
We've had that couple times, and it's like,
Yeah,
but you're right. I mean, the thing is, the client's always right, right? So,
yeah,
and but it is what it is. But uh,
yeah,
have as far as have you ever had an incident with someone, and or like where they didn't feel like paying you? Because I feel like almost every person in the industry has had that, where they're
mm.
like, you do a good job and they're like, I just don't feel like paying you. Has that ever happened?
Well, I haven't. I've seen a lot of people had that instance happen, but I haven't personally had it happen yet. But I've had an instance where, because I usually go an hour out. So some of my jobs I do them sight unseen. I just do the estimate offline. So this one house, it was pretty oxidized. So I guess I left some marks in it or whatever. So I did have to go. They paid me, but I went out there and I had to buy some oxidation remover and scrub it. And I just did all of that for free because I didn't want that on my name. I just wanted to make sure I did that. So I didn't charge them for that. But they did pay me for the initial service, but I didn't charge them for that part. But it took
Gosh.
longer to do that part than it did the pressure wash.
Oh, we did oxidation removal today. Uh,
Yeah.
oh man, it's way longer. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my goodness.
And I and we same thing, because we pretty much do everything remotely. Uh
Yep.
I I hardly, and that's the battle. There's always guys that are like, "Oh, you have to go there," and but for me it's like I did when I started the business, and as you know,
Yeah.
we don't get every quote, right? Like if
Yeah.
I drove to every single quote, I'd be wasting so much
Yeah.
time and gas. It's
Yep. And yeah, I feel
it's
the same way.
yeah. So, and that's the thing. When you do it like how we do it, some jobs we're gonna kind of lose. Like I've done some like gutter window jobs. And I'm like, man, if I went there, I would have charged maybe a couple $100 more. And
Yeah.
but that's the reality is but then some jobs I'm like, wow, I did really good. Like
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
like it's always give or take,
Yeah.
you know. What but yeah, man, it seems like you're doing. When do you think realistically you'll be able to go full time? Like, do you think it's a year, 2 years? Like, when do you think realistically you can make this like a full time thing?
So my goal, honestly, is to around next year, like mid-season, I feel like if everything's keep going how it's going, and like next year, like I wouldn't say at the beginning of the season, but right after the beginning, and I get those houses coming in, I definitely probably before the end of the year next year, I want to try to take it full time because like I look at it like if I can get 4 or 5 jobs a week just passing out cards 2 3 days a week, then doing jobs the other 3 days. That means if I pass out cards more days a week, then I probably be able to get more jobs and get my name out there more. So yeah,
Like, and one of the last questions I was gonna say, mentally, what's how have you overcome those weeks when there's really no jobs, right? And you're like second guessing yourself, like, do I
yeah,
really want to do this thing? Like, how do you overcome that? Because I mean, even for me, like, there's weeks sometimes because I don't care what anyone says. There's weeks you really have nothing, and there's weeks you have good. But sometimes it's like, man, as an entrepreneur, it gets there's like dark days I've been in. Like I'm telling
yep,
myself, like, man, I could go get myself a 9 to 5,
yep,
and I won't ever have to worry about lead generation, won't have to worry about client retention. But then it's like something inside is like, you knew you were gonna work your ass off to get this. And then it's fulfilling when then things change, you start getting the jobs again. So it's like for
yep,
you, how have you overcome? Because to me, the mental is way harder than the job itself.
yeah, yeah. Well, one thing I would say is like I said, it's kind of for me. It's like I literally, like I used to work for a big company, so I never was like everything. I'm watching them, and I want to make my own company. Like I was literally 16 at the time, but
Yeah,
it's like I literally love pressure washing. Like it's fun, Like my dad and my brother, they cut grass and stuff, so it's like I never really like doing that. And they kind of like, oh, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? So it's like I literally like love fresh water. So it's like, and then it helped me too because I got my job. So it really just like some weeks where I don't like if I passed out less cars than I did the week before, I'm be like, okay, I slacked off this week. Maybe that's why I didn't get a job or something like that. Or like I just keep posting or like I don't know. It's just like something like I know I like you say the job is easy. So it's like my hardest part is getting the job. So it's like if all I got to do is post in Facebook groups and I got to make sure I keep on top of that or keep on top of it. My you know what I'm saying that's not really too hard compared to like if I was just out here and I had a big loan or something, I was just like scrambling to pay off
yeah,
everything. Like I bought my truck through pressure wash. I bought all my equipment through pressure wash. So it's like now I'm just really in a certain sense where I'm just building my company to a certain sense. So I don't really have no timetable on it. I don't know. It's just kind of like I just know where I'm going. So I'm just appreciative of where I am. You know
yeah,
what I mean? You know what I mean?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
that makes really good sense. And kind of, and from the job that you worked for 5 years, and you don't have to tell me what that name was, but from what things did you see working with them did you like, and then what things were like, I could do this better?
Well, I would say that one thing, like I like the fact that they do the soft wash technique. They had all the equipment. They had the hose reels. They had 600 gallon worth of water. Like they had all the equipment, so you didn't need anything like speculative. You know what I'm saying? They had 36 gallon, 36-inch surface cleaners. They had everything. So I
Mhm.
like that. I really like that about it because like even though I was younger, I'm like, dang, this job is pretty easy because it's like it was just like it was a cool thing about that. But only thing I didn't like about it, I guess I would say, is like if you was an employee, you really didn't have much of a say so, which I understand now being a business owner that people don't know what goes into it, so you really shouldn't. But it's like if somebody works for you for 5 years and they come in there every day, they never call out, they never nothing, they
Mhm.
there for you. And it's like I feel like you should really kind of have a sense of respect for an employee because I've been an employee for over 10 years, and it's like I work jobs and I never call out, I never do none of that stuff, and it's just like certain employers, they just feel like they got a sense of entitlement, and I always wanted now I just want to be able to build my own brand and let people work for me and just like not treat my employees like that, or
Oh
whoever
yeah.
works for me like.
Did
or
you
not.
were you like a W-2 employee or just like a contractor?
Well, yeah, I work. You talking about like for Amazon?
No, for the like did they give you health care benefits, all that stuff or no?
Well, I think I got all of this stuff. I just got my LLC like a little bit ago. Like the first couple months, I was just doing it, just doing have my name and stuff. But then now I realize you got to have insurance
Yeah.
and your LLC and all that stuff. So I'm kind of still learning all those things
Yeah,
like
and
that. But
your website looks really good. I see I'm literally on there right now. Did when did you add that video on your main page? Because it looks nice.
well, I actually it was a blessing. This man named his name is on my Facebook. His name is Ian Lewis. He made that he made that page for me. Um and
Ah,
he made it for me and he helps me out and he's a manager over it. So I sent him that video once my brother made it for me. I wish I had my shirts then, but I didn't have them then. But it still is a
gotcha.
good video. But yeah, my brother made it for me and I asked him to post it up there for me.
Does does Ian does he do like marketing for you or something?
Well, he's just a website designer.
Gotcha.
He's just trying to get into like this field with construction workers and pressure washing companies because he already does other websites. So
Oh,
he gave me a good deal on it. So I was appreciative of that.
gotcha. Yeah, no, you have a very nice website. It looks really good. You got good before and after photos. Um, are you perfect? And
Yeah, I like your
last,
website too.
oh, thanks, man. Appreciate
Yeah, I
that.
checked it out.
Yeah, no. And last kind of question I always ask people for people just watching this, like, what would be your last tip or motivation to give someone watching this if they're scared to start a business? Like, what little words could you say,
Hmm.
for them just so they could overcome their fear?
I would say like my dad told me, it's like a job is always a 9 to 5 or a job is always gonna be there. Like even if you're a manager at Walmart, you got experience and you making a certain amount and you're comfortable, you can always do more for yourself. So don't never really get complacent. It's like that job is always gonna be there. You got the experience, you've been there before, so don't just hold yourself back to a certain point. Even if you're just doing something on the side, you still do work your job. Like don't just always try something. You never know what can happen. You might be making cupcakes or something, then you might
Yeah.
turn into a cupcake store, you know? It just you never know.
Yeah, no, that's hey, your dad has some wise words of wisdom. But yeah, man, no,
Yeah.
I appreciate you being here and thank you for giving us your time and your advice, man. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the call and I look forward to staying in contact.
Yeah, you too, man. All right. Well, you have a wonderful day.
All right, you too.